coming up on AgweekTV.
I'm Mikkel. I'm in rural North Dakota where we meet with a farmer who had a close call with a building collapse.
A small group of farmers find strength in numbers when it comes to marketing their oats. And this month marks the end of Mikkel's long career in ag journalism. We take a look back at some of his most memorable moments. Welcome to AgweekTV as we kick off our 9th season. I'm Emily Beal. A North Dakota farmer narrowly escaped a collapsing building in a December storm. Mike Clemens was literally blown away when an equipment shed collapsed on his farm near Wimbledon, North Dakota. Mikkel talked with him about his close call.
You know, the day that snow came, it just came over the east trees over there, just came over the top.
This 20-year-old building was no match for a 2-day storm in mid-December with heavy snow and relentless winds.
What a perfect storm. Straight east wind, wet snow coming in, and landed right on top of this building here.
Mike Clemens had been clearing snow that day when he went into his equipment building to get his sunglasses out of a tractor inside. Let's let him tell us what happened next.
I was coming out, reached over to grab the door here to shut the door, and I heard a piece of metal fall on the floor. And I'm going, now what the heck could that possibly be? I better go see what it is. So just as I walked into the building, the roof was coming down, and all of a sudden the gust of wind come blowing out. I was hanging on to this door, and the door was out here, and I ended up back out here in the snowbank. It was just unbelievable.
Just the force of the wind.
Force of the air coming out of the building, you know.
Oh my God.
And then I got up and I came and looked and I'm going, well, that didn't really work out so well.
Mike is well known in the ag community. For decades, he's been one of the state's most active farm leaders, serving on numerous commodity organization and business boards. He and his family grow corn and soybeans on their 7,000 acres, and some of the equipment they use on it may have saved his life.
Hey, if those weren't in here, yeah, I would have definitely been in more danger. Yeah. But, you know, that was kind of the support of the building at that point, and it was the equipment inside there.
And his first thought, once he knew he was safe?
Well, I got to take pictures.
Yeah.
When you have a disaster, you got to take pictures.
This farm has weathered a lot of storms over the decades, but this one may be one for the books. Near Wimbledon, North Dakota, this is Mikkel for Ag Week.
The Clemens will replace the building, which was insured, including a snow peril provision. The North Dakota House is considering a bill that would prohibit foreign governments from buying agricultural land in the state. The bill comes after many state lawmakers voiced concerns about the Fufeng wet corn milling plant proposed to be built in Grand Forks. The 1135 bill was sponsored by Representative Larry Clemens after he heard concerns about Fufeng's ties to China. He believes that locating a business controlled by the Chinese government so close to Grand Forks Air Force Base is a poor idea. The Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States completed its review on Fufeng in December, determining that the project does not fall under its jurisdiction. If the bill is passed, it would not affect land owned prior to by foreign governments before July 1st, 2023. Ag Secretary Tom Vilsack has announced a new round of emergency relief and pandemic assistance programs. He shared information about the latest phases of the USDA programs earlier this month at the American Farm Bureau Federation's annual convention. Vilsack says the USDA's goal is to provide all farmers, including underserved and new producers, with the opportunity to receive the help they need to continue farming and to build and maintain their competitive edge and access to more and new and better markets. Applications for both programs will be open January 23rd through June 23rd. What started out as some Southeast Minnesota farmers getting together to talk about conservation practices has evolved into a marketing group for food-grade oats. Jeff Beats talks about what they hope to achieve in this week's Ag Week cover story.
4 pounds of nitrogen in
Martin Larson and a small group of farmers would get together a few times a year to talk about soil conservation.
The discussions were usually about no-till and cover crops.
Some of the farmers were growing oats as a cover crop to improve their soil and feed cattle. But Larson and others in the group started talking about growing food-grade oats.
I used to say we were a corn and soybean farm, but now it's corn, soybeans, and food-grade oats, a 3-crop rotation.
The oats acreage among the group is still pretty small, perhaps 2,000 acres this year. A dozen farmers share resources like equipment. They're growing enough oats to help supply a processing plant in the region needing food-grade oats. Aggregating the crop among several growers helps ensure higher quality overall and better prices.
But this actually gives some assurance, and quite a lot of it, that you're still going to have something of value that can be brought up to a standard, a high standard that can be marketed in the food-grade market. And that's the game changer part of working as a group.
Although production is fairly small now, they have big goals. 1 million bushels in 5 to 10 years.
Recreating history from 100 years ago when cooperative elevators started.
Joachim Wiersma is a small grain specialist at the University of Minnesota. He says a small group with a niche crop faces big challenges.
Because initially you're going to have smaller acreage, and so that lacking that infrastructure to have fair price discovery and have, move that risk away from the grower into the market is really important.
A nonprofit organization is helping with some marketing, infrastructure, and equipment. It has provided funding for a key piece of equipment, a grain cleaner, to help them meet the standard of food-grade oats. They also lined up the use of a grain handling facility for blending oats and centralized shipping.
Because remember, it's all new for everyone. And it really, there is strength in numbers and safety in numbers when you're working together as a group.
This is Jeff Beach for Ag Week.
You can read more in the next Ag Week magazine or at agweek.com. The food we eat and the way it's produced is much different than it was 100 years ago or even 20 years ago. But how might it change in the coming years? As we continue our special series on the future of food, an expert lays out some possible things to come. Jason Lusk is head of the Agricultural Economics Department at Purdue University in Indiana. He also co-written several books on the topic. He predicts many changes in the next decade, including advances in biotechnology. Not only does he predict food will be more sustainably grown, but that will be reflected on the labels as well, along with nutrition information.
More of those kinds of labels that are more quantitative with regard to other impacts, whether it's, say, carbon emissions, water use, land use. And I kind of like that view of the world because I think it incentivizes us to focus on the things that matter.
A recent Purdue consumer study shows people across the country most value affordability and the taste of buying food, followed by availability, environmental impact, and social responsibility. Up next on AgweekTV, demand remains high for high-quality beef despite some challenges for producers.
Attention growers, agribusinesses, and ice fishermen. Agronomy on Ice, the ag event with the tailgating feel, is back. Put on your cold weather gear and join us Wednesday, February 1st at Woodland Resort in Devils Lake, North Dakota for this unique networking event. See your friends, wet a line, and try some Scandinavian delicacies. Don't miss the Agronomy on Ice Fishing Derby, Tuesday, January 31st. Visit agronomyonice.com for more information. We'll see you Wednesday, February 1st on Devils Lake.
Every season has an end. After spending your whole life building something, it can be hard to move on to your next stage in life. But when that time comes, you deserve to have someone you trust guide you through the process. And by trusting us to pass on your legacy, it gives someone else the chance to create their own. Every auction has a story. Let us share yours.
Looking to add non-GMO conventional and organic soybeans to your rotation this year? Soyco International out of Gary, Minnesota is looking for new farmer contracts for the 2023 season. They have proven marketing strategies, partnered with local agronomy expertise to work alongside and provide the certified seeds needed for their contract growers. Soyco International is offering premium prices to boost your operation's bottom line. Reach out to Sean Young today at 218-350-3863 to answer any questions.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
Risk management is not just for the grains. Livestock producers, did you know you too can protect the price for your production? Livestock Risk Protection, or LRP for short, is a great tool to help you protect the price of your calves. Cattle producers can also protect their pasture and hayland from lack of rainfall with pasture rangeland forage, or PRF insurance. This is a very affordable way to help producers in times of below average rainfall. Call the risk management specialist, Martinson Ag Risk Management.
It's been a volatile couple of years for the cattle industry, but the demand for high-quality beef continues to be on the rise. Troy Marshall, Director of Commercial Industry Relations for the American Angus Association, says ranchers have had to face some hectic weather patterns and events, record high input prices, and other roadblocks while caring for their herds.
We have historically tight supplies with historically strong demand. We've never seen the demand for high quality beef, the upper 2/3 of choice and prime that we've seen here now. And so I think it's really exciting time for the cattle industry.
U.S. meat exports have also been facing some challenges, according to Dean Meyer, chair for the U.S. Meat Export Federation. COVID, transportation issues, inflation, and the slumping international market have all impacted U.S. meat exports.
We've got great opportunity in the beef exports. The demand's going to stay there with markets, Southeast Asia just emerging from COVID, some still zero COVID policy, but yet we're able to sell that product. We got food service that's opening up again. There's great opportunity. The challenge will be our supply here.
Meyer stated that beef exports are expected to increase by 20% in value this year. A Wisconsin bean company has grown into the world's biggest processor and exporter of kidney beans. Chippewa Valley Bean Company was founded in Menominee in 1972 by Vice President Charles Walksmith's grandfather. Today, 3 generations of the family work there. At first, they processed only the beans they grew themselves, but over time, they bought on other growers around the upper Midwest. Throughout the 1980s, they served mainly domestic markets, but then started breaking into overseas markets. Today, they export beans to 30 countries on 5 continents. They take in kidney beans from about 100 farmers, clean and process them, and ship them out for canning. Walksmith says innovation is what helps them grow.
What might make us a little different is our setup on electronic color sorters. And we do use a machine called a Kravnik or a pin sorter. And that's a large cylinder with tens of thousands of needles in it that really work well for sprouts and skin checks.
Walksmith says that's important because kidney beans are a specialty crop that must have the skin intact to maintain their value. He says, like many companies, they face logistic problems and high fuel prices. But he says they're always looking for ways to bring more value to their customers. The company is on track to be carbon neutral in the next few years. Ahead on AgweekTV, this month brings an end to Mikkel Pate's long reporting career. He'll look back on some memorable stories. The 41st annual Ag Week Farm Show returns to the Graham Arena Complex at the Olmsted County Fairgrounds March 7th and 8th, 2023. All area ag businesses are invited to attend this great opportunity to showcase their products and services to area farmers and ranchers. Ag Week News will be at the show with additional opportunities for sponsorship and advertising. It's going to be a can't-miss opportunity for farmers and ag leaders in the region.
The team at North Star Ag is committed to quality and committed to you. We're not just a full-service dealer, we're farmers too, so we know you need the best machinery and services that'll keep you going all season long. We have the largest equipment inventory in the upper Midwest with a well-equipped parts and service department. So whether you need machinery tomorrow or parts today, stop in and experience what North Star Ag can offer on our website at northstar-ag.com or give us a call at 701-361-4790.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow lift pump is the perfect upgrade to your drain tile system. Using line shaft turbine pump technology, these pumps are made to last while operating efficiently. Dynaflow drain tile pumps can move up to 1,500 gallons per minute, up to 3,400 feet away.
Improve the profitability of your ranch by partnering with Top Herefords. Attend the bull sale February 10th, 2023 at the ranch, Grace City, North Dakota. When you buy a Top Herefords bull, you're getting top-of-the-line genetics and benefits of marketing your feeder cattle and replacement quality heifers direct. It's a common-sense approach to greater profits on your ranch. View the 2023 catalog at topherefords.com and join us at the bull sale February 10th, 2023 at 1 p.m.
Since the inception of Vaderstad, the spirit of innovation has led the company. We push the limits, providing innovative and reliable seeding and tillage solutions that simplify everyday life for farmers. We continue to reimagine the capabilities and technology behind farm machinery, providing customers with a perfect emergence while maximizing their yields. We look forward to growing together.
The AccuWeather Outlook is sponsored by Excalia Fungicide from Valent USA.
Will temperatures rise as the region heads into the heart of January? Here's our AgweWeather Outlook.
For much of the month of January, most of the stormy weather in the United States has been in California. And most of us out here in the Midwest Great Plains, it's been fairly quiet. There are signs of a new pattern change. This pattern change will likely gravitate toward a little bit colder weather into especially the far northern plains and some parts of the Great Lakes and Northeast, which have been very, very mild this winter. It does look like many areas of the Midwest are looking at snow, especially toward the second week, toward the latter part of January into February. And the main storm track is going to be poised to change where the really wet weather has been. In other words, one more week, this first week of the forecast will bring rain to California. The second week, late January, will bring relief to the West Coast, and it will put that storm track back into the middle part of the country. So let me show you what's going on. Jet stream pattern right now, quite meandering, and generally speaking, there's not a lot of really Arctic air anywhere in the United States. Even Alaska has really not been having that much of a cold winter. There's kind of cold weather has finally moved into the Northeast, but we're just not seeing that frigid weather, except for that period of time back a little before Christmas. That has mostly been in retreat. Now, there will be a little bit of a low pressure trough forming down here in the southern states that will bring cooler weather south, but it's not attaching itself to the really cold weather this week. Now, as we get toward the end of the period, big stormy system will start building out here. You'll see the weather in California begin to dry out, and this will eventually drop into the last week of the forecast, drop down along the west coast, more of an inland storm, and then likely kick out into the plains, and this southwest to northeast track for next week could be potentially quite wet. Gulf moisture coming in. The colder weather coming down doesn't look like as cold as it was in late January, does not look like as cold as it was back in mid to late December, but it does look like we'll see some pretty cold weather by the end of the month, and there are signs that at least some of February may be quite cold as well. Now, as far as the storm track goes, this week we're still seeing very wet weather along the west coast. California in particular turns into excessive snowfall in the California mountains, the Sierras, and you're getting some pretty appreciable snow into the Rocky Mountains as well. There will likely be one weather system later in the week that will come out of the southern states, bringing some rain pretty far north into the Midwest, and that will likely turn to snow. There may be some of this back into the Great Plains, northern plains in particular, probably not really, really heavy snow. The second week, though, this storm track will likely be more manifested, and there will be potential for snow somewhere in the western edge of the Great Lakes or the northern plains. Showers, thunder showers further south, New England, and the Northeast will finally get some snow, and coastal California will finally get a chance to dry up.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has a storage solution for you with a wide variety of bin options and accessories, along with site planning and superior customer service. Plus, from top to bottom, we offer the industry's best bins and warranties to protect your products and your grain storage investment. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with generations of experience and dependability. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
Don't miss out on the equipment you'll need next season. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH dealer, has early order discounts on its full line of powerful, efficient, new Case IH equipment, including tractors, combines, and self-propelled sprayers. Get a great deal and ensure that you have the latest in productivity and technology. Supply chains are tight. Contact your Titan Machinery dealership today and find out how much you can save by ordering ahead. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH equipment experts.
Since the inception of Vaterstadt, the spirit of innovation has led the company. We push the limits, providing innovative and reliable seeding and tillage solutions that simplify everyday life for farmers. We continue to reimagine the capabilities and technology behind farm machinery, providing customers with a perfect emergence while maximizing their yields. We look forward to growing together.
Why I ultimately choose them is they handled everything from the site prep, the dirt work, the gravel. The electricians were all excellent, and they're very knowledgeable in the dryer setups themselves. They made sure that they designed me a system that was expandable years into the future. It was a long-term encompassing project, and that's what I appreciate about their knowledge. I'm Ethan Hansen from Blanchard, North Dakota, and I would definitely recommend Advanced Grain for all your grain storage handling needs.
For Ag Week, this is Mikkel at Watertown, South Dakota.
We'll look at the positive impacts that dairy can have on the community.
A Minnesota couple has put a grain bin to a new use. Spoiler alert, it's not grain.
This elaborate system of tubing with the downhill slope is how Maplewood State Park gathers sap to make syrup.
Thanks for watching AgWeek TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. January marks the start of a new year, but for us, it also means we say goodbye to Mikkel Pates as he's retiring at the end of the month. Rose Dunn talked with him about some of his most memorable stories.
January is bringing some big changes for us here at AgWeek TV and AgWeek Magazine. We're going to say goodbye to Mikkel Pates after a long and very stellar career in ag journalism. Quickly, you went to SDSU for ag journalism.
I graduated in 1979. I went to the Worthington Daily Globe. It was an interesting time in agriculture. There was still a lot of go-go 70s kind of thinking. They were trying to grow as much as far as they could and plant fence row to fence row, but that was soon going to take another turn.
And then through the 80s, of course, a lot of coverage of the farm crisis.
Yes, there had been tractorcades to Washington in 78 and 79, and I had done some coverage of that, but there was tractorcades in North Dakota, out in Jamestown, and there were big farmers going broke and going through bankruptcy, and so I would cover these bankruptcy cases. And also about that time, Sarah Vogel was suing the Farmers Home Administration and actually had a foreclosure moratorium for several years until the 87 Farm Credit Act, and that was something I covered at the forum as well.
The Jerusalem artichoke story, that was kind of the first big ag journalism and investigative journalism that came together, and it's what kind of got you noticed by the forum.
Right. This was a company in the Marshall and Lind, Minnesota area that had South Dakota connections. Ethanol was being talked about as being something on farms, so every farm was going to have an ethanol still, and this was a way to get into a new crop that was sort of a miracle crop. That's how they marketed it, where you'd invest in this and buy seed. It was really a pyramid scheme. And
not a miracle.
No, it wasn't, and in fact they'd never made anything like ethanol out of Jerusalem artichoke. Eventually they got indicted by the Minnesota Attorney General, and a couple of them went to jail.
So during that time, you were a reporter, ag reporter for the forum, and then in 2000, you joined Ag Week Magazine.
Right. The Herald created Ag Week in 1984, and I had tried to compete with Ag Week, which had a lot of ag journalists, and I applied for an opening there, and it was great that they hired me for that, and it's been an interesting career at Ag Week.
So many great stories to share after more than 40 years in ag journalism. We're going to hear more from Mikkel, including about his Ag Week TV career, coming up in future weeks.
Still ahead, the community and the company say goodbye to Mikkel.
It's time to register for the Soil Health Conference, January 24th and 25th in Sioux Falls. With excellent keynote speakers, breakout sessions, awards, discussion panels, social events, and networking opportunities, this outstanding event will offer something for everyone. Students may register for free and can participate in a student essay contest. The conference will be held in conjunction with the Midwest Cover Crop Council annual meeting, January 23rd at the same location. This is a chance to get your soil health questions answered and form connections with mentors. Learn more and register at sdsoilhealthcoalition.org.
Grain Handling Direct presents How to Purchase Grain Storage Solutions in Your Bathrobe. First, go to grainhandlingdirect.com, browse our products, check prices, and add your selection to a cart. You can place your order online or call our customer service reps with any questions. We'll route your order to the manufacturer and ship it directly to your front door. grainhandlingdirect.com. Direct and simple to save you money.
I'm Peter Bosch. I've been working with Gateway Building Systems for a little over 20 years now. I chose Gateway Building Systems to build my shop because I wanted a building that could both be used for my equipment and as a place for my family to hang out and do things. I would advise anybody that's thinking about working with Gateway to go in and talk to the guys there, tell them your plans and your future dreams, and let them design something for you.
Why I ultimately choose them is they handled everything from the site prep, the dirt work, the gravel. The electricians were all excellent, and they're very knowledgeable in the dryer setups themselves. They made sure that they designed me a system that was expandable years into the future. It was a long-term encompassing project, and that's what I appreciate about their knowledge. I'm Ethan Hansen from Blanchard, North Dakota, and I would definitely recommend Advanced Grain for all your grain storage handling needs.
Go beyond the headlines with an Ag Week membership. Get in-depth agribusiness reporting, original farm and ranch stories, and fact-based research for the most comprehensive ag news in the upper Midwest. Experienced ag journalists bring you exclusive ag news, insights, and policy updates you won't find anywhere else. Become a member today and get unlimited access to Ag Week and AgweekTV.
As we told you earlier in the show, Mikkel Pates is retiring after 44 years in ag journalism, more than 20 of them here at Ag Week. This week, Mikkel was recognized with the retirement party at the Forum, which owns Ag Week. Many friends and colleagues, as well as some of the giants of local agriculture, turned out to wish Mikkel well.
He has the ability and the talent to take those complex issues and break them down to words that people can understand. I think that's by far his strongest suit.
The one thing that stands out to me when I think of Mikkel is integrity. You could always trust Mikkel to do everything he could to get the story right. Mikkel will be very much missed.
Best of luck, Mikkel. Stories you'll only see on AgWeek.com and an Ag Week magazine this week. Stockman's Livestock Exchange changes hands. And after 10 years, ground for Northern Plains Nitrogen, a proposed fertilizer plant in Grand Forks, still hasn't been broken. Thanks for watching the debut show of our 9th season of Ag Week TV. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a great week.